Hey guys, so I have another spooky story. This one's probably the most funniest that I've encountered. I've talked about it previously, so if you've already seen it, feel free to skip. But this time I'll condense it down to one video. So it was several years ago. Surprise, surprise. I was on night shift by myself, and I got called to a house for a burglary in progress. So just backstory: this house was a rental house. Numerous tenants have been in there to my knowledge. Before this female, she was a traveling nurse, and she was going to be there for like the next 2 months, and this was like her second or third night there. So I get to the house. I'm like 30 seconds away. I'm like right on scene. I start walking up to the house. I don't see any commotion. Nothing's really alarming. I get up to the front door, and she opens up the window. She's upstairs, and she's yelling at me to hurry, that they're in the house. Well, I go to open the door, and the door's locked. I'm like, there's no forced entry, at least from the door. And I'm like, the door's locked. And she's like, well, go in from the back. And I'm like, okay, where? Like, where at specifically? I mean, it's pitch black out. So she said, go in through the cellar door, in through the basement. And I'm like, no, like, that's creepy. I'm like, okay. So I walk around to the back. I see the cellar door, and it's padlocked. So I come walking around up front, and I don't see any forced entry. I'm shining the light through the house. I don't see anybody. And I'm like, the back door's unlocked. And she's like, well, what do we do? And I'm like, I can kick in the door. And she's like, no, don't do that. And this door was like an antique looking door, like out of a Harry Potter movie. And I'm like, I can't get in through the back. I can't get in through the front. I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I'm not crawling through a window. And she's like, okay, hold on. And as I shine my light through the little window seal of the door, I see her up at the top of the stairs, running down the steps, taking leaps and bounds to the door, unlocks it. And when I open the door, she like runs out of the house behind me. And I'm like, okay, obviously she's scared. But I'm not getting any concerns that there's anything happening. So I'm like, where did you hear this commotion that you think you're getting broke into? She's like, well, I was in my room upstairs. I was watching Netflix, and I could hear slamming on, it was either a loud noise or like a slam on the floor downstairs in the main floor. And I could hear somebody stomping up the steps and stomping in the kitchen. I'm like, okay. So I go in there, and there's a big bag of flour or whatever it was that got knocked off the counter, and it's spewed out on the floor, and you can see what looks like footsteps in the flour. So I'm like, okay, this might be legit. And as I'm looking around, nothing. That's all I got. So, I searched the entire place, top to bottom. I turn on all the lights for her. Every nook and cranny, there's nobody there, no forced entry, nothing missing, nothing stolen, nothing. So I told her, I don't know, she had no animals. So I said, I can't explain it. And she said, well, I forgot, I just installed interior cameras for my home, just in case like the landlord would come walking through unannounced or something. Let me go look through my cameras. So she brings down her laptop, and we see the dining room kitchen area, and you see the bag of flour come flying off the counter, and it goes spewing everywhere. And a few seconds later, you can see the imprints, but there's nobody there. And I'm like, that's a ghost. You can't see it, but you can see the footprints. And she's freaking out, and she doesn't want me to leave, and she doesn't want to be alone, and she's scared, and yada, yada, yada. And she's like, what do I do? I'm like, I don't know. I'm going home. Like, I'm off in a few. And she was all upset, and I never got called back there. I don't know what happened to her. I've never been back to the house. I just went home, got in the hot tub, drank some whiskey, and ate some chicken nuggets. So that was my night. All right. Thanks, guys.